Hello YouTube, Tim here, and as you can see, this is the scrap from that piece that I made earlier when I was making an arrow out of fiberglass rods. This is not a bad way to do it. These rods are cheap, common, durable, extremely dense. Depending on what you're trying to do, this might be what's right for you. Now I have some other uses for some of the other rods, and I'm ready to go ahead and process them. I marked points, and I'm going to get to sawing them down. Highly, highly, highly recommend wearing a face mask. Here's a good model. You can buy these. They're filtering. This should be more than adequate for particulates. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. And that way, if my voice is muffled, you'll know why. Okay. The other benefit of a nice face mask, it has this little clipper on the nose, so when you breathe, the air doesn't come out and fog up your glasses if you happen to wear glasses, which I do. So that's nice. Let's go ahead and cut this now. This is a scrap, it's really useless, so I can get that down. I have a mark here and a mark there. Let's see if I can cut them at the same time. Hey Phil. These are 17 and 27 inches. You will not regret wearing gloves if you choose to. And in fact, don't stand downwind. You don't want this stuff blowing in your eyes. Be very careful. So you guys know, I'm not coughing because of any of this stuff. I'm coughing because I have a cold. Welcome back YouTube, Tim here. What we've got is the fiberglass bundle, in this case matched up center to center, with a little dab of hot glue to hold them together, and then wrapped at all the critical points with duct tape. What we're going to do now is take this pipe, this bow actually, it's a finished bow, and sacrifice it. I'm going to heat the ends, and then I'm going to insert the pipe, or the rods, into the pipe. And we're going to see exactly what happens if it increases performance. My final plan would be to take some 3/4 inch PVC and wrap it around the handle to further enhance it, because this is a little bit too narrow. But we can try that or not as things turn out. We'll just have to see. First things first. Let's get one of these ends set, really. Let's open it up. Alright, where were we? Let's go ahead and heat this sucker up, and then see if we can drive in the fiberglass rods. I will recurve these again once I'm done. I think that might have been the first use in the English language. Recurve? constantly breaking new ground on Tim's channel. That's why you guys keep coming back, right? Well, I do think archery is a fantastic hobby. I think it's a great bit of fun, and the more accessible I can make that for people, the more interesting things we can learn about it, the better. So I hope you're all having as much fun as I am. Because rest assured, I'm having a lot of fun. This is another way of altering the tiller of a bow through selective reinforcement. In the past, I've done this with PVC, layering different types of PVC onto each other. This is the first time I've tried fiberglass rods. Whether or not and the degree to which it's successful, your guess is as good as mine. Okay, that looks pretty good. That's certainly enough to get the rods inside. We really only need one side open, so that's a good place to start. It may be too narrow. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna put this against the ground, try and ram it in just to see if we can get it to go in any farther. If not, then we're likely going to have to heat up more. We may have to remake the whole bow, which is totally fine. Yeah, it definitely gets caught right there at the end. So let's just continue heating as little as possible. I'm thinking we're only going to have to go in about 8 inches. After that, it should slip in at least until it hits the halfway point. That is going to be the challenge. But I have a mallet and I have, strangely, more fiberglass rods. Put those two together and we should have a way to drive this in. Again, it's a comedy hour. I do save all my bloopers. One day I will release them. And you will laugh. Excellent. Let's see if that's enough now. There we go. It's really tight. Definitely hit all the way up to the halfway point. I think that's... Let's see where it got to. That's interesting. I wouldn't have expected it to have any more trouble throughout the limb until it got at least to the handle, which is quite a lot further down. Okay, I'm going to try again, just gently. Is that an oxymoron? Gently ramming something? Okay, so let's continue with the heating. So far he's so good though. Like I said, I probably should have just started with a tube, a raw pipe, but at the moment I don't have any of those, so rather than run out to the store, that's far too easy, let's do things the wrong way, shall we? Sometimes this channel is a place of learning, not just for you, but for me. I need to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and what's really silly. This is going to be one of those things that's probably not my best idea. but the end result may warrant it. Okay, let's give it another try. How far down can we ram the rods? All the way into the other side. Excellent. So now we're having problems on the other side, the far side. Let's just continue. Let's keep at it. I think this is progress. If anybody Ren and Stimpy fans out there, that was the tune that I was putting my little song to. There's something in there, you might recall, a board game involving an electric fence. Oh, look it up. Okay, that should be good. Let's just take note here. Here's center, here's center. They are aligned. And now, to get center to center, I have to have exactly, let's use the ruler built in here. Center from the tip, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a quarter, call it, inches. So let's go and try now. Shove the rod in. Need it to be in by 6 and a quarter inches. It's certainly in there, but I'm not sure. The final 6 inches are going to be the hardest. Okay. Let's grab one of our spare fiberglass rods. We may need that. I'm going to attempt to drive it in even further. Well, we can get it flush. No problem there. But the final 6. Yeah, that is really where the rub is. Let me get a hammer. Or this dowel might do the trick. Or let's see, what can we do there? That could work. Okay, we have the fiberglass rod there. Of this here. Now if we can brace it, just make sure this isn't going to fall in too much farther. There. Now it's metal on metal. That'll get us a few extra inches. It both worked and didn't work. It slipped right off the edge. I think we're going to have to heat up the entire pipe to total softness just to get this in. Then I'll reflatten the bow and I'll show you the results when it's done. I'm not convinced that it would be any easier to put this into a completely unprocessed bow, or a pipe rather, just because the two pieces barely fit. They barely fit. You're going to have to heat it if you want to get it in easily anyway. One piece is really all it comfortably fits. Probably doesn't help that it's 40 degrees outside when I'm doing this, but I'm trying to not expose my family to very much of this stuff. Fortunately, half-inch PVC generally heats up fairly quickly. And it's also fairly flexible, so we should be done very quickly here. Something that I've noticed is that most of the stress in the half-inch bows, and indeed with most of the other bows that I make, tends to be near the handle. Very little bending is going on near the tips, and that's a problem. We need to encourage the tips to bend. This is one way that we can do that. So if the tips aren't bending, you're just not using the bow fully. It's not necessarily a bad thing for all types of bows, the home guard bows for example, but in this case I'd like it to bend evenly so it didn't take a set in the handle. My home guard bows haven't taken any set whatsoever, which probably means they're not being stressed quite far enough. We're definitely getting there. Okay, it's definitely soft. I think we can try. Okay, first let's just try and ram it in. using the... That went extremely easily. Jeez, okay. Now what? Well, heck, I didn't think that was going to be so simple. I've got to get this out of here so I can ram it in the rest of the way. Remember, 6 inches. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches. Done. Look at that. Easy. Okay. Now we do have to go back, re-flatten the bow, but people, we're in business. I will do that. I will recurve it. I'll get it back into shooting condition, and then I will be happy to show you guys the results. So thanks for watching.